Knights.
Woo!
I think the last session was December.
Yeah, and then we literally came down with COVID the following week.
Does anybody else, apart from Dave and me, remember what happened last night?
We were out in the reinvention.
That's what that word that I can't read is.
Artistic something, artistic non-Visley live there. It's a very vibrant and rich in culture and amazing architecture. Beyond is the abstraction, so black. One higher on an ephemera limit, gift for something or other, and then I just wrote down which cards came out. That's pretty much it.
Shall I go through my notes?
Yeah.
Have you got more?
Oh, just the Watcher, the Ambassador, the Misremembered Dream. Because it's not magic.
So my notes are: we're in the reinvention, which is an upscale district with fantastical buildings. The abstraction is, and I quote, "smell the glove black."
Okay, yours is better than mine.
The reinvention is daylight. The abstraction is totally black. Two guys approach us who look like Chamba and Gargano. They offer some free advice. You've got to know who you are, but be prepared to give up what it's gonna take. One of them has been disemboweled and couldn't talk, so I get him so that he can talk. And they whisper a single word to Hawk, but I don't know what that word is.
Talk know what that word is.
He does.
They give a gift to both me and Stobold. And I've written down foundation, but I don't quite remember what the context for that was. We get back in the bed, we fly over the abstraction, which is kind of like a word I can't read, sat in a monochrome dining table.
White room.
Nope, don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, suddenly. Suddenly sat at a monochrome dining table, voice from behind, which is the voice of Peter Serafinowicz. It's the same voice that I heard in my head that said hello a few sessions beforehand. We're told that we're at a new stage of our journey. It asks if we are ready and who we are. The voice in the ear now says, "I taught you well." We end up back on the bed. Proud might not be the word, but it was an emotion. We tell the people where we land the story of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
There's a big pot of food, I think it was, that we were all kind of like helping ourselves to. It was kind of like a festivity sort of thing. I have woken up hungover, and I am now no longer looking like Roland. I am looking like Stephen King. And there's a particular song that's playing that may or may not be the song that's important to my character.
The song you're playing. Does this mean we're going to get a copyright strike?
Well, you said to prepare a song, so
I said prepare a song, yeah.
oh, I can play it.
Go sing it.
Which that would probably still get a copyright strike.
Oh, really?
Because we don't have a synchronization license, so that would be the same as me covering it.
Really like poetry.
Hey Jude, don't get so down. Hey Jude is what's playing. That is the song.
Did he sing something?
Did Isabel tell you that she woke up the other night having jumped about a big tower? I was like, don't tell me.
She didn't.
First card on the path is the unknowable truth. It is the Four of Secrets, improving indigo magic, and strangely enough, diminishing grey magic.
Secrets is mine.
The Unknowable Truth. When the Unknowable Truth card is revealed, it affirms and advocates for a conclusion. However, it indicates futility regarding a plan. Otherwise, it means that the answer requires more searching, perhaps searching elsewhere. raven stands watch over the unknown. As we strive for understanding, the closer we get to the truth, the farther away it becomes. We know this to be true, but only after we've made the journey. The truth we learn is that we cannot actually know the truth.
Boo. Boo. Redraw.
So the morning wakes, and I don't know how much the rest of you were indulging last night.
Oh, it's Hawk, definitely.
Okay. But
Scenes deleted.
but you kind of are probably woken to a shout of consternation from the men's long room from Mr. King.
So my appearance has changed, but my personality is still the same.
Yeah.
So no, I'm used to waking up with different faces. This is, and I wore this face for a long time in the grey. So
Old friend.
I'm confused, but not worried at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What does Mr. King look like? Because I keep thinking of Stephen Hawking, which I know is not right. I know, but
It's
just
not a
the name.
million miles away.
Minus
Is
the
it
wheelchair.
linked in my brain?
Minus the wheelchair.
Yeah.
And speaking spell.
Duh.
Okay, yeah. He's
He
not a
looks
million miles away.
a
actually,
lot
is he?
skeletal. That nose is creepy.
He
And his top lip's weird. I've never, like... I know what he looks like. But
Thank you.
I think I delete it from my memory.
So that comes out of the men's room wearing Roland's clothes.
Yeah,
He was
no,
hot.
the scream of consternation will probably come from Hawk. Like, who the hell? And then she goes, Roland.
Say thank you, Si. It's still me. And I'm going to go and search for something fried with 1,000,000 calories in it.
Yeah, I think I'm fully...
The cook fire is banked low. It's still lit, but there's no signs of actual food being prepared. Although people are stirring and gathering in the eating room.
Munch.
But there's no plates. There's cups of water, and there's kind of like a fruit tea that's being served round,
No coffee.
but no coffee, no actual food.
I don't like this place after all.
And then one of the people that you were chatting with last night kind of sees the looks of consternation on certainly your faces. I don't know if you're...
No, I think I've seen enough weird
Yeah.
in this place already to... And he's changed what face once before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've changed face twice.
Really?
Mm.
Oh.
I went from old, kind of Clint Eastwoody looking Roland to Idris Elba Roland
Yeah.
to Scott Eastwood Roland,
Oh.
and now
When did you become Scott Eastwood, Roland?
a
Yeah.
while ago.
Was it?
Yeah,
Ah, see, I
Okay.
still hadn't
I thought you was Idris Elba.
I thought you were still Idris Elba.
Yeah.
that's fine. You can imagine me as Idris Elba if you want. It's an improvement all round.
Scott Eastwood can't.
Oh.
And yes, I went there.
Oh, why would you say something so accurate and yet controversial?
Says a lot. I don't even think he's got these.
Idris Elba is Knuckles in the new Sonic movie. That just blows my mind.
It's going to be awesome. That's what's so funny.
Isabel made me put the date in the diary and she's like, we're going to see it, okay. Oh, my family outing, which is you guys, because
Oh yeah, actually that sounds really good. Blue Justice, patent pending.
And yeah, so one of the locals kind of looks over at you at your kind of, oh, where's the breakfast? And he says, oh, es one meal a day es, rest vets prosty. haven't got to sing for your breakfast.
I'm sorry, I might still be feeling the effects from last night. I think you literally just said that we've got to sing for our breakfast.
Or young can read. The other fellow was with young Mole. He was good at words. What about yourself?
I kind of want to do the whole "I'm a professional, I don't do anything for free" sort of thing, but no, I'm getting fed out of it.
I'm not hungry.
I suppose then I am hungry. But I'm going to kind of like turn to you guys and kind of go on then. I done it all yesterday.
There's a couple of big kind of kettle drums, and literally they are the big cook pots that they had. They've stretched skins over the top of them, and then a couple kind of stand up and they go in front of them, and it's like.
Da-na-na! Da-da-da.
And then sort of two men stand up by the doors, and they start I can't do it, but they start an overtone, kind of that sort of throat
Mongolian throat singing. The Sardaukar are coming. Run!
Chant, and that kind of sort of perks people up, and people stop milling round, and they all sit down at the tables, and they are going to indicate to one of you two to go and perform.
Let's try and find something that I'm looking for.
We've got to sing our song, but in a poetry form.
You can sing it, or you can poetrycise it.
But if you say I sing it, you're not allowed to sing it. Is that right?
I'll mute the
I
audio.
feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down, tumbling down. There you go. Don't know the rest of the words.
What?
Huh?
What was?
It's called I Feel the Earth Move Under My Feet.
Oh, okay.
By Carol something or other.
Wardman.
No. Pause the recording. What do you want to do, man?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, cut there so we don't get a copyright strike.
Just trying to find something.
Pencil.
Yeah, that's it.
Pencilio.
Oh. Quite proud of that choice.
That's a good choice.
Is that the song you chose?
And yeah, so there's a reasonable round of applause.
I love that my character, because again, quite normal, and then he starts doing like line dancing, jive dancing to
What,
Tumbling down.
mid-70s?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So what's Hawk?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find it. I can't remember which song you chose. Because there was a couple. That was good.
Aren't you happy with this?
Oh, that was it.
Do you need to pause the recording again?
Candy, I'll read it first. So I'll just read like the first two verses. It's like the curtain was open. I had to put dope in. Now we'll come clean. The future, we've seen it. No, I know. I said no. It's like a dream that falls away into the night where we can play. I'm on a train, one happy day, 2 eyes for sight, 3 times I pray. All soda pop. We've got to set up shop, and when the weather comes, we've got a pressure drop. We don't know, and every day I go to see what I can bring into a cameo. We believe.
like it. Who's that?
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Okay, so yeah, and then there's another sort of brief round of applause.
And then Stephen King Roland stands up and sings "Hey Jude, don't make it bad, take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart and then you can start to make it better. Hey Jude, don't be afraid, blah blah blah." But when he gets to the na-na-na-nas, everybody sings along and knows it, even though they may never have heard it before. Because Hey Jude is the song of Susanna and it's an eternal thing that everyone knows. What was the name of your Chili's song?
We believe.
I don't think I know that one.
You would if you heard it. It will play after, so no compromise for it.
And then that kind of finishes quite big, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everybody
Party love.
joining in on it. And then as you kind of step down, there's still the atmosphere going, and somehow the lights dim somewhat. You make your way back to where you've been sitting, and there's a spotlight appearing from somewhere, and into it walks a craggy gentleman. We're going to say John Noble,
Okay.
because yeah, I've been watching Fringe again, and he's just
Makes sense.
wonderful, and he's going to get a lot more roles in this coming up, because I remember just the way. And the throat singing kind of starts again, just with a low chanting noise, and he starts singing with the most soulful voice. And you'll forgive me, but I actually did want to sing this one, strike or not. What have I become?
Oh.
My sweetest friend. Everything I love goes away in the end, and you can have it all. My empire of dirt. I will break you down. I will make you hurt. You are beautiful on the inside. You are innocence personified. And I will drag you down and sell you out. Run away. I am cold like December snow. I have carved out this soul made of stone. And I will drag you down and sell you out. Embraced by the darkness, I'm losing the light. Encircled by demons, I fight. What have I become now that I've betrayed everyone I've ever loved? I pushed them all away, and I have been a slave to the Judas in my mind. Is there something left for me to save in the wreckage of my life, my life?
I've become. Oh no, we're just like the AW crowd.
I've become in.
Oh, this guilt is a heavy cross. There is blood on the path I walk, and each step I take is haunting me. Embraced by the darkness, I'm losing the light. Encircled by demons, I fight. What have I become my sweetest friend. Everything I've ever loved goes away in the end, and you can have it all. My empire of dirt, I will break you down, make you hurt in the wreckage of this life. And then it goes black.
Very yes. Well, I don't know about Roland, but David's worried.
I was quite proud of that.
Yeah.
That's really good. Just casting an eye around the darkened room. The champion isn't coming out to hit me with something heavy, is he? How does that make us feel?
Yeah.
That.
I've not even had my coffee this morning.
Okay.
Still hungover.
How does it make you feel? I can't speak for your characters.
No, but does it have a haunting kind of vibe, or is it?
I know my voice does not do it justice, but it was quite a melancholy piece.
It's just like, oh come on, I just want some happiness. I want to do no crappiness.
It's hit your system like a quadruple espresso.
Oh yeah, without having the quadruple espresso.
That's alright. It's just you get the caffeine hit with no poopings.
Bonjour. Have you seen that?
Oh god.
Oh, it's the little fox poking his nose out of the
No, we don't like
It's a polar bear.
Oh, I've seen one with a fox.
Oh right, yeah.
Don't like
I've seen the polar bear one.
Oh no, Kelly doesn't like foxes anymore.
My sister's cat got attacked by one, and cat is no longer. Foxes, as much as I love Binkies from Foxes, they can go do one right now. So yeah,
It's been themselves, they've always been.
yeah. Haley kind of
Hey, I'm a bad guy.
heard it, and then Winnie Bobbins came back in, and she was not. So Haley was like, I don't know when she passed away. And a tiny little calico kitty way. That's how I feel sad. Yeah, that's hard. That's like, ow. Trying to do some good, man.
I'm gonna say Roland isn't feeling kind of melancholy per se, but his attention has been kind of peaked.
Okay.
Yeah, what
I
is
don't know this song like you know this song, and so just from the words, it sounds incredibly threatening. That this person is selling you out and telling you to run away because he's not safe to be around. Just from the words, that's what it says. I'm losing against the demons in my mind. I'm going to sell you out. I'm going to make you hurt. Run away.
Yeah, it's
So, I feel that maybe we should give him a wide berth, this person.
nah. I think because obviously knowing the song, it's more of somebody kind of like lamenting about the choices that they're making and how they've been really self-destructive.
Okay. Okay.
Probably not.
I'm going with the druggies. For Hawk, anyway.
Oh right, no.
That's what I pick up from it.
Yeah.
I had the bit that it's the what was it I read something, it was in Preacher, where Tulip said I had that moment, and there's a moment where every addict knows that they've gone too far, that they have to change, and obviously Mr. King had an issue with the bottle,
Yeah.
and it gave you that, it brought you back to that very instant when you knew that you had to stop.
Which in a way kind of, instead of being kind of like unnerved by that, I think I'm feeling kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Re-energized?
A little bit kind of re-energized, but also a kind of a sense of kinship with whoever's been singing it, because I've been where that person is. And I know that there is a way back.
Still a little too raw for Hawk, but she gets it.
Most of you done.
Bam 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 bam.
And the second card on the pass is the incriminating skull. Which is the again the 5 of secrets.
Secret's raining hard today.
Can somebody hold up that not magic sign, because this is one of the first sessions that I think that I've done for a long time when I've actually done some prep. Meanings: disaster, discovery, evidence, connections, and friends and family.
Oh,
Something that should have remained hidden becomes evidence. A friendly NPC, particularly one with a bond to the NPC, makes an appearance, or something happens that suggests a connection with them.
is she here?
I'm just gonna mount this right here for the rest of the session. I'll put some subtitles on there because, you know, this game is not magic. They give you directions. You give them the description of the house that you're trying to get to, and one of the locals just points out that it is actually on the next island over.
Oh, okay.
They didn't see who it was that moved in there. They landed, they declined to take part in an evening meal, and then they left.
Oh, excuse me.
The person was wearing a mask.
Ooh. What did the mask look like?
Hmm?
What did the mask look like?
Oh, I like one of them fun things.
Accountant. An accountant mask, they're fun.
What's them things with eyes goes different ways?
Chameleon?
Cornish?
Chameleon. Strangely chameleon.
Yeah, like made of gemstones. It was Blaine's back. It was
Does
What?
this sound familiar to me?
Blaine's back. It was shiny or gems and gold.
Do I know of this? Do I remember anything that looks like this?
I don't know, but I'm kind of getting Crystal Fire vibes from it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you actually say that out loud?
Yeah.
No, it weren't M.
Do you know Crystal Fire?
Yeah. That'd be Dragonfly Mask Man. No M.
Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
How do you know him?
In by stone. In by his foundation stone. He rebuilt his house. He bought a load of it.
Sorry, so he got his foundation stone from here
Yeah.
for the house that has just recently been rebuilt following all of the unpleasantness.
Yeah, he'd been here like 2-3 weeks back.
Interesting.
He paid well.
Sure he
He was
did.
loaded. He'll never say no. I don't know about what was up with Amy, but
Could you tell the kind of person that was wearing the mask?
it was lady. Jim didn't have much with her. Maybe Megan twice his own bed.
And when did she come through?
Before Crystal Fight came past.
She's been
Month, 2 months,
Recently.
maybe a little bit more. Not too long.
Do they come and go, or have they been?
No, we just seen her once. Who'll be your pilot?
Me.
What?
Just because you kept knocking parts off the ship the last game we were in.
We've got no back this time.
You. You come with me. I'm show you the way. Right.
Right.
So he takes you out to the sort of the edge of the thing. And this thing's just like a mesa that just rises straight sided.
Oh, wow.
A mesa. Like that tabletop mountain from
South Africa.
no. Oh, Close Encounters.
Oh,
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And you just go like that straight up at the sea. So it takes you right to the cliff. Says you can say that one over there. You can't see anything. He touches on your shoulder and says that one there. And as soon as you touches you on the shoulder, you can see this island, and
Okay.
you can see to a greater or lesser degree a castle on top of it, and it looks just like St Michael's Mount.
Okay. But when he lets go again, I can't see it.
You should be okay once you get up in the air.
Should be okay. Why can I see it when you touch me?
It's magic. I know.
Do 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 do.
So I kind of work out the rough trajectory from the landmarks that I can see on the land, and kind of know which way I'm aiming.
Hawk goes very quiet, kind of a little introspective.
So Roland King is going to sit next to you and kind of say, "This is your kith and kin. How do you want to do this?"
What we assume it is.
Can't say that. It's copyright. They tried to trademark it.
Who did?
Wizards. From Critical Role.
Really?
How do you want to do this? Yeah.
How do you want to do this?
Matt Mercer's thing as a DM is if somebody gets a critical hit, he says, "How do you want to do it?" So instead of him explaining what happens, he gets the
Yeah,
play to it. What, and Wizards try to...
Apparently somebody tried to copyright it. There was talk.
So there is a book called that.
Yeah, I don't think you could copyright because it's too common a phrase in everyday usage.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger tried to copyright the name Mick Jagger. That didn't go well at all. But there is an argument that that's why so many celebrities give their children such weird and wonderful names now, because they can be copyrighted. We shall see.
Special.
Apparently Kanye West is now Yee. I missed that.
Oh, yeah, who cares?
Yeet him off a cliff.
Yeah.
So you take off and start flying?
Yeah?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to go, because otherwise we'll never know. Just get it over and done with.
We're on a fantastic ride, the Slumber Down 2000.
Because family.
There's just so many memes with that, like, you know, Dom just taking a Death Star blast. Nothing stronger than family.
Two friends from church, and they're both really like fast and furious, and we're trying to get a marathon night together. We just can't make our diaries work. And she's like, "Oh, this isn't working." I was like, "We need to keep going because family." We're somewhere in April now. We still can't make it.
Just gonna have to do this marathon 1/4 mile at a time.
Yeah. And you, once again, the same sensation that you had as soon as you take off. You can see this island nice and clearly, and you can all see it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that same sensation where you feel like you're flying for hours, but at the speed that you know this bed can go, it should only take 20 minutes. Distance is solid, but conversely, the island that you've just left shoots away into the distance like really quickly when you look back. And although it's an odd situation because the sun was up, you could tell it was daytime when you took off. Every time you looked at this island, it was night. When you look back at the island you just left, you could tell it was daytime. But if you looked sideways, again, it was a blind spot. There was no terminator between the two, no differentiating line. And after what feels like 8-10 hours of flying this thing, it's even more of a hike than the last stretch that you flew over. You kind of land in the. I've been to Mont Saint Michel a couple of times. I presume St Michael's is.
No, mate.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever been to St Michael's Hall.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, okay.
You have.
Yeah.
I've been and looked at it. I've not been actually out to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
So-
I know you've been out to it.
So
Very, very long time ago. But
what I remember it being effectively is that you've got the bit where you go into it, which has got like a ferry bit and whatever,
Yeah.
and then a street that circles round,
it, yeah.
and then it just goes up to the church at the top.
Yeah.
And you've got little restaurants, cafes, gift shops, tat shops, whatever, going all the way up, and that's it. And then the church.
Yeah.
And this
And is it a church at the top or a castle?
is a castle.
Okay.
But it's at Michael Martha's church.
Yeah.
Yeah, St Michael Hurt's church. No, but this island.
And there's an eerie stillness.
Is there tap shops?
Pardon?
Are there tap shops?
It looks like there are old closed shops. So if you were to take a tat shop and just put up newspapers just in all of the windows, when you look at the newspapers from a distance, you can see kind of pictures and text and everything, but when you go to look at them close up, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like a lorem ipsum just on them, and the pictures are all blurred and
It's like a
faded.
dream.
Yeah, and the paper is like real 1940s, 1950s yellowed
Yeah.
newspaper. You know that if you could actually get in there and touch it, it would just crumble to dust.
So there was a community here once. It's
Mhm.
architecture.
And are you walking up the?
Yeah.
Okay. And again, there's a bit of an oddness as you're walking up, and then you realise that the sound of your footsteps is reversed.
Huh. What is that thought?
And the cadence of it is quite off-putting, to say the least.
The place, yeah, definitely gives you the heaves.
The Hebes.
Yeah, the heaves. Is there anything?
Any other sounds?
Yeah.
Any other sounds? Birds, water.
There's there's a sound of gentle kind of waves on rocks. Again,
There's no actual sea.
the
So
Not really. It's a sea of nothingness.
what?
Does it give me, no, a person can't necessarily give a vibe on an island, but I'm guessing my connection with my sister was fairly strong
Mm-hmm.
prior to this, and do I feel or sense anything that I would know around me, if that makes sense?
Maybe not like memories, but like, oh, I would have chosen that thing, or I
Yeah,
would, you know.
are there things that would be like, okay, yeah,
It's nothing until you get to the gateway of the castle.
How's my Borno vision?
It is just grey, nothing. There's no,
Safe or not safe?
yeah. And when you get to the gateway of the castle, you can see that where there was like an archetypal great big door knocker, she's replaced it with something else, and it's like something uniquely of her. What do you think she would have? She's got some new knockers on there.
Oh.
I think it wouldn't be a chameleon. Or would it? No, it would be, and the tail's the knocker, like the curl of the. I think when we get to the door, I definitely.
Do chameleons eat dragonflies? Just thinking out loud.
They do eat bugs, but would a dragonfly be too big a bug for a chameleon to munch?
Dragonfly can have size,
I know dragonflies are different sizes. Let's look this up.
No, chameleons could. Well, given that there are some chameleons which are only that big when they're mature adults,
Yeah.
and dragonflies can be that big. Not all chameleons can eat all dragonflies.
Or dragonflies can eat all chameleons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I definitely pause and look nervous because this is somebody that I've not seen for a very, very long time, but I don't know how she's gonna react. I'm not quite sure how.
No.
No.
Apparently chameleons should not eat dragonflies.
Why?
It's bad for them.
Well, duly noted.
Just learned something today.
So if the chameleon does try and eat us, I'm going to use that line from Dog Soldiers. I hope I give you the shits. Have you seen Dog Soldiers?
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
That's not a Jonathan.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
It's fine. It's poppers.
It is Poppers. Yeah, it's a horror comedy. It's not a proper horror film.
Yeah, but this is Charlie.
Still pretty horrible.
It's
I watched
hilarious.
Gross Point Blank yesterday. That was
Popcorn! I have not seen that film for so long.
I've never seen it before. But anyway, so Chameleon door knocker.
She looks at you too, and she's like, I'm pretty certain she's here.
Okay. Should we knock? She's oh my god, I say, just knock. Just knock. Why isn't she knocking? Do you think she does have a knock? Frozen. Your character, isn't it?
I've only seen Frozen once. So.
It's when Anna goes to visit Elsa in her castle, and I go, so just knock on the door. Why aren't you knocking? Does she think she knows how to knock?
I put my hand on your shoulder.
Do you want to speak of
Where
my
would
encouragement?
That'll start an entire different chain of. And
The door opens before.
I even like.
No, before it
Knock
strikes the
strike.
floor.
Oh, right. Falling with the door because I'm still holding to the. What?
It opens up to a long hallway.
There's no one there.
stood at the far end of this, and this hallway, if you imagine just like a grand ballroom.
It's got
Okay.
like stairs that go around.
Yeah. Well, it's got those that go up the sides,
Yeah.
and then there's a balcony around the top of it. Down each side, there are portraits, but there's no faces in the portraits. It's very, very sparse. There's very little signs of life. It's clean. It doesn't smell disused or anything. It's got quite a warm smell. It's got, oh crikey! So what's your character's favourite smell?
I like cinnamon.
Yeah. So there's like a warm cinnamon bun smell that you smell.
Whiskey, smoke, like old pubs kind of thing.
You can smell that.
Tobacco and coffee.
So you each kind of smell something exceptionally reassuring. And then stood, or sat rather, there's a raised dais beneath a beautifully elaborate stained glass window, not depicting anything in particular, but just wonderful vibrant colours, and sat just beneath it on a raised dais on a large high back chair.
So a throne.
Yeah. Is a figure
It's a
wearing
strange place to put the Kazi.
a porcelain mask, relatively blank, sort of featureless and white, pair of eye holes, but it's a human mask. I bid you welcome.
Does it sound like it?
Mm-hmm.
I think walks forward, but she speeds up and basically runs up to her and sees if they will
She
respond.
runs there to meet you and goes to
Hug you. Like, big ass hug. That's what I like. And like they're like we're talking, not letting go, going like proper, and like there's emotion coming from walk, like ugly.
As you start running, Roland is still being Roland and is going to clear his holster just in case.
yeah. Does she smell like her? Does it feel like her?
Mhm.
Is it her?
yes.
And yeah, she basks in that for
A while.
a while. I am just a little bit like,
She just sat on the bum.
And she says, I didn't think I would, I didn't think I could ever see you again. For the longest time I didn't even know about you. They'd erased you. And she kind of taps. It took me a long time to put myself back together.
I feel our journeys have been somewhat similar. Even though what happened to us may have been different, they did the same to me.
And your companions?
I introduce them. I introduce
Thank you.
you. And I've met these after coming out of the shadow, I think it was. I'm trying to remember so many. And we have become, they've become family. We are quartet, and they, even though they probably don't realise they mean a lot more to me than I think they do, I don't let them really know that often, but I haven't changed that much in that respect. I think a would love the opportunity to talk and discuss and find out what's happened. But she's just completely I'm like, you didn't know if I would ever see you again, and this is, I thought you long gone. And then just like, kind of roughly explain what's happened and gone on, and that I now have the deeds to the shop again, and you know, we can, if you wanted to, begin to have that life we never had as children, and that to, like, you know, do what we wanted to do before it all went really fucking weird.
When you mention about the deeds to the shop, body language just kind of changes twice very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from a position of rapt attention, like I say, you can see her eyes on this mask, but you can't, otherwise it's completely blank, but the body language is that she's giving you complete attention. And then it goes from there. When you mention that you've got the deeds to the shop, it kind of goes to a complete joyous, eager expectation, and then very quickly it goes to a slumped shoulders, set of resignation, and her head sinks, and she kind of puts her face in her hands. I don't think I can go back to society. Do you remember when we were at university, when things started going wrong?
I do now. I had the memories replaced to me. I didn't for a very long time though. But I understand that maybe it is something that I cannot ask of you to come back with me.
You don't remember what they made you forget?
I didn't think we unearthed that bit, did we? Did we?
I did.
You did?
I did very briefly, but officially no. I told you as the player, not you as the character.
Yeah, so I know, but I know.
Oh. I remember.
Tell me, no. There will be no judgment from me.
And she says, it is a secret that, and she leans down, puts her head and face, does something subtle, and then lifts her head up, and the mask stays where it is, and she looks at you, and if you imagine that, you know, when you were patching her back in the memory, she kind of came back in piece by piece. If you were to draw like jigsaw puzzle pieces all over her skin, but rather than just them being tattooed on her skin, that's where she's been kind of slotted together.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see that bits start to move out and then slot back in again, and then move out, and then slot back in again, and move out, and then slot back in again. So it's the sort of thing that takes you apart. And it marks you more than even this. And she kind of peels back. She'd been wearing like long opera gloves with a dress, and then she kind of hooks her sleeve up and pulls it back down, and the same thing is happening like all over her body, and where she's got it covered up, it doesn't seem to hurt her so much. And you can tell just for a moment that it's taking a great effort to stop herself from, so she kind of just very quickly slots the mask back on again.
Oh, so she's having to work at putting the pieces back in again, but when the clothing and things on it keeps them.
Makes it a lot easier for her.
Okay. So I assume she's got a hood or something in the back as well.
When she took the mask off, your Borno vision went, problem, bit of a problem, and then when she put it back on again, it disappeared again.
It was that bad. And I appreciate if you don't know what to say. Maybe I shouldn't know.
It's a decision that each of you will have to make. It is an important decision.
Is it kind of fate of the sun's kind of important decision?
Mm-hmm.
So it's either know the truth or potentially
Crowded tomb.
or potentially lose you entirely. Well, that fucking sucks. We don't have to make that decision right now, do we?
Oh my goodness.
Oh great, the DM's broke.
Also, fail.
Also fail.
Okay, what have we got now?
The tomb lies at the end of all stories. The reward for the greatest monarch and the lowliest beggar. Of course the tomb is crowded, it grows more crowded each day. The crowded tomb means endings, despair and completion. Crowded tomb is an ending, not necessarily a sudden ending, an ending that you know full well is coming whether you acknowledge it or not. It might just mean that a task is finished. It doesn't always need to be sad, everything needs to end sometime, but there's an air of despair to this card. Not outright misery perhaps, but a lingering sadness and a mourning.
Shit, what's going to have to give that person a start? Field smell.
Or give up.
Cut hair.
Well, no.
Something's got to give.
Yeah, but it could be our blissful ignorance
Can
to knowing.
Stovald and Roland both make a perception type check?
Should we do that?
Yeah, because in Hawk's
Definitely.
mind at the moment, that's all she can think of. It's one or the other. She has to give up.
Can I
The bigger
destiny-
picture is not in her noggin right now.
I've given these two also the opportunity to choose a different dice.
That's 5.
Nine.
Okay. Both of you notice that on the back of the chair she was sat on, carved in the wood at the side, is a path of vines and roses that mimics the path of the suns.
Which we've sworn to protect.
And you see that this is mirrored, and once you've seen it in the back of the chair, you see it's actually mirrored up the sides of the grand stained glass window and on the frames of every one of the blank portraits.
We've got to know and we've got to keep going.
I don't have to make that decision right now, do I? I can have 10 more minutes, surely.
I don't understand what the decision. I don't understand.
We want to know the truth. For
Yeah.
her to tell us what happened. What
Yeah.
did she do that was so bad
Yeah.
that had her memory wiped?
Yeah.
I get the impression that it's to keep herself together,
Yeah.
if that knowledge is let out,
Yeah.
she can't anymore.
She can't live anymore.
Or not necessarily live, but those jigsaw puzzles, or those pieces of her will unravel.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that before.
I'm assuming that's right, yeah?
Yeah.
No?
No.
Oh.
No.
I kind of got that impression.
But bear in mind, if I tell you what I've remembered, what I've, no pun intended, pieced together,
Yeah.
it will change your lives.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
You have to know. You have to move forward. You can have another 10 minutes in blissful ignorance with her if you want. That's totally fine. We could have another day, you know, whatever you want. But in my mind, there's no, we walk out of here without knowing.
It's Adrienne, isn't it? The sister's name.
No, that's mine.
Your name.
Josephine.
Josephine. I had them both down. I couldn't remember which one belongs to which. I'm going to kind of look around at the various traceries and stuff, and I'm going to look at Josephine, and I'm very quietly going to say, "Is this the tower?"
It's an aspect of it.
Ooh. What would happen to you if you tell us?
Some of my burden is spread.
She might get better. Not all the way better, but better than she is.
I would not necessarily be alone in my exile here.
Well, I would want to take or share that burden with you, because obviously I knew at some point, and they took that away from me. So, and they did that to you because they made you the only one. Well, pieced it together, but they deemed it so bad that we shouldn't know. But we made the choices that we did, and therefore, with everything and the memories that I have now gathered about what happened in our past, they are who has made me what I am and who I am, and I don't want you to have that one yourself at all. I'm happy to share that with you. I don't know about my companions. If they wish to too, then that's lightens that load a little further for you, but that's their decision.
I wish to know, not necessarily for the lightening of your burden, although that is a happy consequence, but I wish to know because of my oath to protect the Pastor Sons, and I feel this is a step in that.
We are quartet. We are many from one. We are one from many.
Mm-hmm.
Your burden is our burden. All things serve the tower.
And she holds a hand out,
Mm-hmm.
draws something back, and the glove kind of like melts away from her fingers. Take my hand and I will show you.
She does so. Without hesitation, just poof.
Ooh. Are you sure you want to?
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that when I read some of the contents of this, I personally found it difficult to sleep for a couple of nights.
Oh, I'm up for that.
I'm up for it.
I'm up for that.
I want sleep.
Don't read it out loud. Because there may be people out there on the interweb net that don't know.
Okay.
It suddenly got very serious and I don't like it. Can I, what's the one that means, really, what's the one that means not very much more?
The end.
Okay, that one then.
Have a chocolate cake.
To sleep. I really need sleep.
I offer a baseball bat service.
Sorry?
I offer a baseball bat service.
Bang!
Shorts and
Sleep.
net. Off you go. I don't tend to add, I really don't.
That's part of my stop smoking service. The hammer.
Press this round.
Okay.
I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah. I read a lot slower than he does, so and the dyslexia, I'm gonna have to delete that. So there we go.
Oh, I came in the other day and she was sat there and she got them a little long round pellets and she was.
And she has her legs out and she's like doing splits around the bottom. It's not like violent or
No.
disturbing.
Fucking demiurges everywhere. Sorry, there's a lot in there that my whole other game involves. Oh, it's not scary at all.
Okay.
I think you'll be totally fine reading
Okay,
that.
thank you.
It's just like, dude. Dude.
And echoing around each of your heads.
I haven't read this yet.
I know what song that's from.
I don't know, but yeah.
Have you seen the Sky with Diamonds? There's one of the gems in it.
Do you know what it's from?
I probably want to kick myself.
No. I mean, you definitely know the song.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Because normally you stop watching the video halfway through.
I don't.
Shall I Google it?
Huh?
Shall I Google it?
After the first gobsmack moment.
I really like it.
Yeah.
What's Andy's favourite band?
Andy's got loads of favourite bands.
Andy does have loads of favourite bands. I won't play it. I can't spell.
It was okay.
Gent, the motion picture.
Demiurge.
I don't actually know.
Demiurge is bear with. You need to go dip into some other game that I play. Demiurge is.
Okay, that's not. I kind of guessed it
The
that
Demiurge
earlier
is bigger
anyway.
than a semi-urge, but less than
Demiurges
a
are
whole
kind of like almost like gods and creators of.
That's not so bad. I I think we guessed it.
We have a game basically. My other game is in the 9 realms of the cosmos, and the origins and connections of demiurges. So those are those that create, and then semiurges are their offspring. So they
But
are
yeah,
kind of.
There's a lot more.
there's a few others.
Anyway,
Okay.
you can keep going with that mission.
I was actually going to read it there.
Yep,
That seems like a, and that's what
Oh,
Hawk
no, I
has
didn't.
remembered.
What effectively happened
Yeah.
was, whilst the pair of you were at university together, you cast a divination spell to find something, and it just fluxed.
Everything.
And the level of the spell, whereas you cast it at like a level 3 or 4 divination spell, the flux took it way up to level 19, which is higher than technically anything can go, because the highest difficulty is set at 17, because 17 is M, which is the current of magic, because the power of the spell just escalated and fed off itself.
And of
But
course,
it
it had to be 19.
It just revealed that core truth of the
that something was to happen so bad.
and I think that's your arc.
That's my arc is done.
Whoop whoop.
So, starting with Hawk. Completing the arc, I believe, is 2 joy or 2 despair.
Alright.
Or I will go one of each.
I'm going to go one of each because it's a bittersweet kind of. It's.
Symphony.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have tokens or do you write them?
I'll write it down.
Does anybody have tokens at the moment?
I've got a load, but
Okay.
those.
No, I'll go and give you tokens.
Oh no, I've been writing them down since. God knows.
Okay.
Like COVID.
Yeah, just I have tokens, but also
I'm going joy,
Mhm.
because the storyteller in me loves that twist, and also it means Roland knows who to aim at.
There is that, yeah.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, for me it's joy because similar things we know now where to go kind of stuff, but the despair is that she's had to, however long it's taken for her to piece back, she's had to live with that. And that I've known that, and it's like, shit.
I'm really tempted to try something, but I think I'll run it by you first.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if it'd quite fall under this, but calling an object from metaphor. Pull yourself together.
is that an object though?
Well, that would not be for me to do, so it'd be whether she would want to.
It's your sister.
Well, yeah, I'll ask her.
I'm not also sure if it would work on a person rather than object. Would it work?
Joy or despair for yourself. Struggle.
No, you don't have to stop.
Despair, I think, because I'd had inclinations that this was what it was already, but this is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought that we hadn't really won. Well, what am I meant to say? I don't know. But I'd had inclinations, and I knew that things weren't as they should be, but I thought it was small pockets.
Not quite as epic.
Yeah, so a bit more despair.
Yep, so point of despair for you. And any progress on anybody else's arcs?
Possibly. So I had as an outcome undo a wrong about the hate cysts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that could be further information into that. And also, I've just written cleansing, but I don't remember what I'm cleansing. Becoming aware of the need, analysing the threat, finding a solution, get ready, cleansing, resolution, stopping it, ending it.
Oh, that's it.
Possibly.
Because you'd thought that hate cysts were being formed deliberately by something that was
Yeah, but they're
actively.
two separate arcs.
Okay.
I've done one that's cleansing, but I can't remember what it was going to be cleansing. But I kind of feel that it's really in relation to this revelation. So more analysis of the threat.
So you can all take 2 acumen, and I think Snowboard, you can take an extra one for a bit more information on that cleansing arc.
Cool.
Also, Kelly, means that. Do you have any arcs going at the moment?
No, that's it. I'd only got the one. So I might have to think of something new.
Mm.
Okie
Yucky yucky.
Oi, oi. Each and every single flipping one of them suit cards was just.
I'm going to go through and tally up all the joy and acumen that I have got. So I've got quite a bit.
Yeah, I've got a lot of these.
Okay.
I think we'd do. I think next session we'll possibly have an admin.
Yeah, we can stay in the castle and spend time with her and plan and listen and learn and reconnect with villagers.
And all that jazz.
Cool. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.